CDRI Fellowship Program provides financial support and peer learning opportunities for individuals designing solutions for real-world problems related to the resilience of infrastructure. In 2021, CDRI awarded fellowships to 21 teams from 9 member countries. The first cohort of the fellowship is on the cusp of completing its journey with CDRI. CDRI is proud of the fellows and the knowledge and innovative solutions they have generated through the fellowship program.
Hello, I'm Christina Wong. I have been researching climate change adaptation and resilient natural infrastructure for about 4 years. I'm passionate about the topic since nature-based solutions and resilient infrastructure can achieve sustainable urban and rural landscapes. Moreover, the topic is more crucial than ever since we're reaching the tipping point where loss of biodiversity due to ecological disruption driven by human activities makes the world prone to zoonotic infections that can lead to pandemics as COVID-19. The CDRI Fellowship has contributed to expand my knowledge on climate adaptive infrastructure and has given me the opportunity to continue exploring the topic from a local perspective in Peru.
Hello, my name is Mohammed Nazari. I'm from Afghanistan. I'm working on a research project entitled Geospace Landslide Susceptibility Mapping by HP Method, a case study in Bamyan, Afghanistan. Landslides are one of the critical phenomena that frequently lead to loss of life and property as well as causing severe damage to the natural resources and infrastructures. This research conducted with the financial support of the CDRI organization. Bamyan is a landslide-prone zone because of its own characteristics, including rash topography, climate condition, seismic potential, and geology. Every year, landslide in Bamyan result in significant economic and social losses like deaths, injuries, and property destructions. In this research, the HP method employed to provide the landslide susceptibility map of the Bamyan province. The result of this research established an important tool for decision makers, planners, and engineers. They can make rapid and well-grounded decisions to minimize and avoid the damage and losses caused by existing and future landslides.
Hello, greetings from Swaga Thapa. My CDRI project is on disaster resilience of bridges exposed to climate change and growing traffic load during design life. I started this research because one of the major challenges associated with the development of disaster resilience bridge infrastructure is to account for the bridge health degradation and transient nature of disasters over bridge service life. So through this research, I investigated the life cycle resilience of degrading bridges under earthquakes and floods while accounting for the evolving nature of traffic load demand and flood hazard. Results from one of the bridges show that the disaster resilience of the bridge decreases due to both intensity of the disaster and the level of bridge degradation. The outcome of this research has a potential application in maintenance and asset management of bridges.
I'm Anushka Shrestha. I'm environment researcher. Nepal is a country that is prone to various disasters such as floods and landslides. Every year, there is huge loss of lives and infrastructure due to these disasters. Therefore, I'm interested in action-based research to seek solutions to these problems. I'm thankful to CDRI for supporting my research on landslides. Through CDRI, I've come across various mentors and CDRI fellows through whom I can learn more on disaster and resilient infrastructures and add value to my research. Thank you.
I'm Yogendra Sweti from Kathmandu. I work in ICET Nepal as a senior researcher. I have been working in the field of DRR, climate change and in social development since last 12 years. I am motivated to work in this area because of increasing disaster events and climate change impacts happening around us. As a professional in this thematic area, I believe I can contribute a lot in making the infrastructures resilient. The CDRI Fellowship has been helping us to conduct the research and field work we proposed in Churi Hill region. So I am proud to be a CDRI Fellow.
I am Dr. Santosh Palmatik, currently a postdoctoral researcher at Texas A&M University, USA. I am working on a CDRI research project that aims to high altitude wetland inventory for disaster risk reduction in the transboundary Himalayan region. My research focuses on reducing mountain disasters such as floods and landslides and sustaining the regional ecosystem services. In addition, this project considers climate change and its impact on the Himalayan glacier melting and fosters innovation in future wetland inventory. I thank CDRI for supporting this project and bringing my research plan into action. I believe this CDRI project can build up research capacity and promote research excellence in nature-based solutions for mountain disaster risk reduction.
Hi, I'm Shweta Lal, a PhD scholar from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, India. My topic is thermal stress testing of residential building using reference weather data. In today's world, there is a rise in the morbidity and mortality due to extreme climatic conditions such as heat waves and cold snaps. Most deaths that occur in residences or buildings are mainly due to the thermal characteristics of the building and their local environment. To understand the extent of this problem, it is essential for us to identify, capture, and predict the extreme climatic events that are happening. Further, this will help in the quantification and categorization of thermal stresses in the residential buildings, and this would help in developing a decision-making toolkit for building energy design, taking into consideration the extreme climatic events.
I'm Monica Thapa, faculty at the College of Science and Technology, Royal University of Bhutan, Head Center for Disaster Risk Reduction and Community Development Studies at the college. My interest lies in disaster-based research with focus on resilient structures and risk reduction. I see risk reduction and mitigation measures are the major steps to avoid disaster. I look forward towards natural, cost-effective and efficient measures supported by research and findings towards resilient structure. I feel Center's vision towards risk reduction and community development studies largely contributes to the domain of disaster resilience infrastructure. CDRI has given us a platform to conduct long-term research to utmost importance of our Buddhist community, disaster resilient building construction practices on hilly slopes of Bhutan, a research compliance and recommendation for national adaptation will contribute towards resilient future by creating awareness on hilly settlements, mitigation and adaptation measures which are important in gearing towards resilient infrastructure on hilly settlements.
Hello everyone, my name is Hafiz Suleiman Munawar and I'm a PhD scholar at University of New South Wales, Sydney, Australia. It's a matter of immense pleasure for me to introduce myself and my team members including Dr. Ahmed Hamad. We were awarded CDRI Fellowship 2021. We have conducted the research for the efficient disaster response for the Hawkesbury River region and Nepean Valley in Australia, which was under the flood last year as well as this year. We have used aerial imagery, drones, artificial intelligence and machine learning and swarm intelligence-based algorithms for the efficient evacuation of disaster victims. CDRI Fellowship has greatly added value into our research and we have managed to publish high-quality articles in this domain as well. We really acknowledge and appreciate the step of CDRI in supporting the researchers in this domain around the globe.
This is a high-frequency transmitting and receiving radio designed for amateur radio frequency bands. During disasters, when all modes of communication fail, amateur radio works. He is Professor Bolchandani, is my mentor for the CDRI Fellowship. HAM used a pre-installed amateur radio station in a US hospital during hurricane for communication. If governments in India install amateur radio station within Indian district EOC, amateur radio operators will quickly go there during a disaster and ensure communication, reducing mortality, morbidity and infrastructure losses. Equipment of only rupees 22 crores or $3 million are required for the whole of India. Our government needs to change policy, for which we are writing a white paper and CDRI will help in advocacy.
Hi there, I am Vasanth Matsagar, currently serving as Professor and Dogra Chair in the Department of Civil Engineering at Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Delhi. We are investigating on innovative structural protection system for resilient community against multiple hazards. The endeavor in which we are developing cost-effective sustainable technologies for hospital buildings to ascertain their safety against various potential hazards and improve resilience against extreme events such as earthquake, wind and fire, which is directly relevant to save invaluable human lives. The Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure has been extending keen support through the CDRI Fellowship which has helped in establishing research collaboration with Professor Tracy Breaker from the University of California at Berkeley. Thus, in true sense, we are partnering for the resilient future.
I'm Dr. Rich Boothroyd, a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Glasgow in the United Kingdom. I'm a fluvial geomorphologist interested in capturing the dynamics of global rivers. I use satellite imagery to understand the risks that river-related hazards pose to people and to infrastructure. As part of the CDRI fellowship, I have been developing a web-based application to map and measure shifts in the position of large rivers in the Philippines. The project uses the cloud-based computing platform Google Earth Engine, in addition to almost 40 years worth of satellite imagery, to assess the risks that shift in rivers pose to critical bridge infrastructure. The aim of the project is to improve the resilience of infrastructure to the risks from geohazards. Thank you to the CDRI programme and to all collaborators involved in the project.
I'm Sridhar. Sajjad Ahmed and I, together with Water Studio from Netherlands, are involved in designing flood-resilient floating community housing. This project uses Majoli, a river island in Assam, as a test bed for utilizing local knowledge and interest in building an amphibious infrastructure to mitigate seasonal flooding situations. This adaptive strategy helps the local to cope with the flooding and drive their seasonal demands than the relocation of the personnel. Learning from the community, these modular bamboo structures will help household and create better living conditions for the locals. Also, this project involves a net zero model for fresh and wastewater management into the system, achieving self-sustenance and scoping for integration of floating farms and energy system through community participation.
India is witnessing its most significant urban expansion in history. Supporting this volume of urbanization requires significant investments in all major infrastructure systems. Hence, the role of urban planning becomes pivotal in taking a long-term integrated view of infrastructure resilience. My name is Supriya Krishnan. Through our project, The Future Ground, we are developing a risk-informed urban planning framework. We use the case of Mumbai, one of the densest and most vulnerable coastal regions in the world. Through our framework, we hope to support the existing development planning process of the city in 3 ways. First, identify the range of disaster and climate variables in the short and long term. Second, assess their broad spatial impacts on major infrastructure systems. And third, connect them to appropriate planning projects. This study fills in a critical innovation gap in urban planning in the disaster and climate space. We hope that this can become applicable to a larger set of tropical regions facing similar risks. Thanks to CDRI for supporting this project.
I am Dr. Indrajeet Pal, Associate Professor from Disaster Preparedness Mitigation and Management, AIT, Thailand. In Asian Institute of Technology, we are working in a promising project from CDRI titled Multi-Hazard Risk Indexing of Coastal Critical Infrastructure, a case study of Thailand. Therefore, it is important to identify the risk to the critical infrastructure at various levels for developing the long-term resilience to the system. Our CDRI fellowship project is developing an index-based tool which will identify the first order risk assessment as well as the zonation of the critical infrastructure in the Eastern Economic Corridor in Thailand. The project outcomes are expected to help in identification of the facilities which need immediate attention over the shorter period of time, and attention over the longer period of time for design of the risk mitigation strategy. Thanks to CDRI Fellowship for encouraging and supporting the risk and resilience related research in the region. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Deepak Srinivasan, President of Vision Planning and Consulting, located near Washington, D.C. And our research focuses on integrating plans and strengthening communications through machine learning. So in the last 25 years of my consulting career with states and local governments, a major challenge that I've found is that plans, policies, and programs are developed in silos and often don't talk to one another, giving rise to conflicts down the road. So we have developed a smart application, which is a think tank for emergency managers and planners. And it's an intelligent application with natural language processing, where we have taught the machine to learn and understand several hundred emergency management concepts and definitions called an ontology. This also contains several disaster resilient infrastructure terms and provides a platform for best practices. So our comprehensive ontology allows documents from anywhere in the world to be uploaded and searched and classified. We will also be able to integrate the CDRI lexicon into our ontology in the future. So we've enjoyed being a part of the first cohort of CDRI's fellowship program, and this opportunity has helped us take plan integration to the next level. And we look forward to continuing our research to build a comprehensive, smart knowledge management portal for governments to streamline their business applications and to execute tasks efficiently during disaster situations.
Hi everyone, I'm Kusal and I come from Nepal. In Nepal, thousands of landslides occur in the rainy season. News headlines like highway block, a landslide enters a village, a landslide hits a transmission line, etc. are common during this season. The problem is we build infrastructure where we believe it's profitable, but overlook landslides that could impact throughout its life cycle, creating huge losses in the long run. Is our construction policy leading us towards a sustainable future? What can landslides tell us about that? Wouldn't it be great to have a map telling where these landslides are most likely to occur in the future? That's what we are doing in Nepal. We mapped past landslide locations over several years and we found that more than half of the landslides are located on roads. It's an alarm to us to look back into the road construction methods and policy. Using this data, we also trained a machine learning model to generate a nationwide landslide susceptibility map. We are developing a web portal to disseminate this data set and the map for researchers and decision makers. The data will also be used in many future researches, including infrastructure resilience, landslide forecasting, and many more. Reach out to us at HRI to know more about the project.
Hello everyone, I am Vipul Nakum, Project Manager at Resilience Innovation Knowledge Academy, India. Our study is on Risk-Informed School Evaluation Tool. We consider school as a critical infrastructure which is often used as a shelter point during disaster times. We want to explore parental school selection choices and school disaster resilience. While choosing schools for our children, we often neglect disaster resilience aspects of the school, so that we want to explore through this study. I am very much thankful to CDRI for providing this opportunity.
Did you know that in 2020, trade, including imports and exports, accounted for over 1/3 of India's total economy? At its highest point in 2012, trade accounted for over 1/2 of India's total economy. Quite remarkable, isn't it? What is even more remarkable is that nearly 95% of this trade travels through the sea, which is in cargo ships. Indeed, India has a massive network of maritime infrastructure which facilitates this trade. We have 12 major ports and over 200 non-major ports which are spread across our vast coastline, and all of them are critical for India's economy.
In this context, the Government of India last year unveiled its Grand Maritime India Vision 2030, which is focused on building new world-class ports, modernizing existing ports, and promoting port-led industrialization. However, in order to ensure the long-term security and sustainability of our ports, we must also address the ever-growing impacts of climate change, such as more frequent and intense, such as more sea level rise, which continue to pose major threats to our coastal region. My name is Chimi Yudin.
I'm Pushp Bajaj.
And I'm Saurabh Thakar, and we are from the National Maritime Foundation based in New Delhi. And with support of the 2021 CDRI Fellowship, we are conducting a study to assess the impacts of climate change on India's port infrastructure and operations to generate practical and implementable solutions that could be adopted by individual port authorities and also the Government of India at the policy level to make our port infrastructure more resilient in the face of accelerating climate change.
Hi, I'm Sushri Singh from India. For the CDRI Fellowship, my team members Meghna, Ananya, Akanksha and I are exploring the potential of a participatory monitoring and evaluation framework using social audits, which puts the users of the infrastructure at the forefront of monitoring, evaluation and learning to build resilience. The framework can be used by government departments and infrastructure funding agencies looking for inclusive monitoring and evaluation mechanisms. As economists, my team is interested in exploring the participatory approaches for governance, for disaster resilience, and CDRI has been an excellent platform to start this journey. For a young social scientist, the fellowship provides a unique platform to learn from experienced researchers from across countries and fields. And we're extremely grateful to CDRI for starting this initiative.